What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. We're so dedicated to talking about all the bonkers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
It was JesseKazam.exe stopped responding briefly.
Yeah, real quick.
You're like,
and I just like,
what's everybody? Bro, I was like, did his computer freeze? Brother, tell me. Okay, I've been waiting days to have this conversation.
Days.
Did you see the latest Veritassium video?
No, but I've seen the thumbnail. I've seen like
I'm so glad.
6 thumbnails.
I was gonna say Veritassium is one of the ones who was like the first one to do it, and is the one that I notice all the time.
His A/B
different
testing.
Thumbnail, different
yeah,
A/B
for
doing
sure.
A/B testing.
Yeah.
So the one that I saw that was this paradox splits smart people 50-50.
Yeah.
I need to pose this to you, and I want to talk about it.
Okay.
This is some like existential shit here that touches on a lot of stuff, especially after our last conversation on the PP.
Yeah.
And it's not immediately obvious why. Okay. So
Is this like the Monty Hall problem?
It's adjacent to that.
Okay.
Except I don't think that this is a solvable problem. It's a hypothetical without like full information.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sort of a thought experiment. Okay. So this is a Newcomb's paradox. Okay. So let's assume this could be a person, it could be a fucking alien, but let's just assume it's a extremely sophisticated supercomputer. Okay. And this supercomputer has one job.
Okay.
And it is to predict what people are going to choose in almost like you could say is a game show type thing. Like you're given a choice, you have to make a choice. And its one job is to be accurate in choosing, or inaccurate in predicting what going to choose. People's choice is going to be. So there's 2 boxes in a room. One box has $1,000 in it. Box number 2 is either empty or it has $1 million in it.
Mm-hmm.
The boxes are set up before you walk into the room.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 options.
Mm-hmm.
You can take both boxes and walk away, or you can just take the mystery box. Before you walked into the room, the supercomputer made a prediction about what your choice was going to be. If it predicted that you would just take the mystery box, it puts $1 million in it. If it predicts that you'll take both, it puts nothing in it.
Okay. So before I walk in the room, the computer makes the prediction. Based on its prediction, it then divides up the money. If its prediction was, I'll take both, it puts no money in the thing. If its prediction that I'm only going to take the one box, it puts the $1 million in the mystery box.
Yep.
And then I walk into the room.
Close the door. It's already locked in.
Yeah.
The question is, what do you choose?
Always take both boxes.
Okay. So this is
like because I wouldn't have known what its prediction was, or that it was going to do that, or do I know that?
Okay, so I left out one bit. What you do know is that the supercomputer is extremely accurate in its predictions.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know, like, as the contestant, I don't know that that's the underlying layer to the supercomputer.
No, I think you know all of this.
I know all of this, and then I walk into a room. If it predicts that I'm going to take the mystery box only, it puts $1 million in it. If it predicts I'm going to take both, okay, then I'll only take the mystery box.
Okay, explain why.
the first answer was a knee jerk. I was assuming that this was the situation that was set up, but as a contestant, all I knew was, hey, 2 boxes. I didn't know about the computer. If I know about the computer, and I know that, well, because I can't lose $1 million that way. I can only lose $1,000.
Okay.
Right. So
so think about it though. Does your choice change the outcome? Don't look at chat.
No. Yeah. Does my choice change the outcome? No, because my choice happens after the outcome was decided.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the question is, why wouldn't you take both?
Because I want $1 million. Because if I take both, that's a guarantee that there's not $1 million in it, right?
No.
Oh, if I take both, but the computer predicted that I was only going to take the mystery box. So if I take both, but the computer predicted I was only going to take the mystery box, the $1 million would be in the mystery box and I would walk out with both. If I take both and the computer predicted I would take both, I get $1,000. If I take one and the computer predicted I would take both, I get nothing. But if I take the one and the computer predicted I would take the one, I get the $1 million. Gotcha.
So it's either you're guaranteed to have at least 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either if you
1 million 1,000 0 0 is the like Pundit square.
No, it's 1,000 1.
Oh yeah, 1 million, 1.01 million or whatever. Yeah.
Or 0 1 million.
Yeah.
0 1 million or 1,000 1 million 1,000.
So you would always take both to guarantee money. Because the 1,000 stays in the box no matter what. The other box. And then the other one. But and the computer is rewarded for predicting accurately. Like the computer does want to predict accurately.
I don't know that it's rewarded, but its primary
prime
goal
directive
for existence is to get it right, and it's very good. They don't give numbers.
Yeah, it's
but
very
let's
good.
Let's assume it was 90% accurate.
Yeah. In its prediction. Then I don't know.
So let me. I was talking to my dad about this. Let me pose it to you in a slightly different scenario. So let's say it's not. Let's say 95%.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 95% accurate.
Yeah.
And let's say you are watching the TV show.
Yeah.
And you're watching the guy. He walks in, and the guy takes both boxes. He hasn't walked out. He hasn't opened them yet. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know.
Aren't you thinking? But oh my God, shut up. I turned my phone off. I had to turn my phone and my computer off. Wouldn't you be thinking, oh, he's not going to win?
Yeah.
Because the computer.
Yeah.
95% is almost 100.
Yeah.
So everybody that takes 2 boxes before they walk out, you're like, yeah, he definitely didn't win. Because you have to assume that the computer is more likely to be right.
Yes.
So you would be like, oh, fuck. And if you see a guy walk up and grab the box before he walks out, you'd be like, oh, this guy's about to win.
Yeah.
To me, it seems different when I'm like outside looking in than on the inside. The door is shut and the choice is made. It's like, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it's either in there or it isn't. But the idea is that like there's this weird underlying intuition that some people have that is like, let me say another hypothetical. Imagine the supercomputer is like all omniscient.
Yeah.
Okay, and it knows every atom, every up quark spin direction.
Yeah.
So it effectively knows the future.
Mm-hmm.
Then by taking the one box, that's like a guarantee, basically.
That you get them.
But wouldn't that mean we have no free will?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Now I'm back to I'm only going to take the one box because if I know that the computer is very highly accurate, then the only way I get the million by taking the both boxes is if the computer is wrong. But I'm just gonna intuitively trust that the computer is right. So I'm gonna take the one box and hope it predicted that, and then get the milli. If I know that the computer, because basically what I'm saying is what you're saying in a different way. If I know the computer is 95, honestly, if I knew the computer was 70% accurate, if I knew the computer is 90% accurate, I am basically relinquishing my free will. I'm going to assume if it's 90% accurate, I'm going to assume it's 100% accurate, which means it knows I'm going to pick this. And if I pick this one, there's the money in it, so I'm going to take it. But if I take them both, it's going to have predicted that I took them both. It's funny, I am actively pulling my free will, yes, behind the computer. I'm de facto saying if I'm trusting you are going to predict what I have chosen. So if I pick both boxes, I'm just going to trust that you have picked that, which means I only get 1,000. So I'm going to pick the one box because I'm just going to trust you have picked that.
Yeah. See, like I recognize,
but only because I had 10 minutes to think about it, right?
Yeah. I recognize that, like, from a pragmatic, like, I almost want to say realistic perspective, like, just take both boxes, but I also look at this partially from the lens of, like, I'm fortunate enough that $1,000 isn't going to change my life, but $1 million would.
Yeah.
For some people, $1,000 would change their life.
For sure.
So I'm willing to forego the 1,000 for the chance of the million.
Yeah.
However, but what goes through my head, and I recognize that there's a flaw here. I haven't identified what exactly the flaw is, but I almost look at it like there's special people and there's non-special people. And I don't mean this like literally.
Yeah.
I'm just like, put a star above their head.
Yeah.
Like, once again, this isn't like I'm not smart or gifted or anything. This is just like there's two categories, A and B.
Yeah.
But it's just easy. There's special people, okay? And the special people are the ones who choose the one box.
Yeah.
And there's something about the universe in which the supercomputer can tap into. Maybe it runs it through social media. Maybe it's all knowing. Maybe it's magic. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's something, that information that maybe it's just statistics, okay? But there's something about it that identifies special people, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if I walk in and I think, what kind of person am I?
Yeah.
Am I category A or category B? Right? If I wasn't the special person and I'm going to take both, the computer would know that.
Yeah.
So I feel like because I consider myself a person who would go one box. I'm a special person. I'm going to take the one because the computer would have predicted that I'm going to do that.
Uh-huh.
So, and it very quickly devolves into like, oh, the universe is deterministic and we have no free will. It's
yeah.
like the conclusion I come to.
Yeah.
It's the guy from Veritassium, he agrees with like that kind of sentiment. A lot of other people are like full on, obviously two boxes because like your choice doesn't change anything and blah, blah, blah. But there's just something about this that just makes me think like the problem is that this hypothetical fake thing, we don't know anything about this supercomputer, how it works.
Yeah.
That's where like the fuzziness of this whole thing
of
comes
the thought
in, where
experiment.
It's like, we're manufacturing a universe in this hypothetical where it's like almost we're almost defining that the universe is deterministic as a part of the hypothetical in a way. So it's almost kind of twisting the game a little bit, like in reality, it would be incredible if the supercomputer, the supercomputer would probably be right like 52% of the time, like slightly better than.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing is like to know if we are in a deterministic universe, you would almost need to actually physically create a robot that can, with 95% accuracy, predict what a person's going to do. And at that point, there would be some serious conversations about, holy shit, does anything actually matter? Or are we just like the sum total of our parts? You know what I mean? But exactly, it's like, and you don't know if we're going to get there until we get there. You know what I mean? 1,000 years from now, they could be like wondering the same thing. Or 20 years from now, AGI is like, predicts everything with like 98% accuracy. And it's like, oh shit. Yeah.
Like I was talking to my dad, and my dad was basically saying like, now he had a different idea for what extremely accurate was. I was thinking like 90%. He was thinking like 52% or whatever. Because all they say is extremely accurate. They don't give, numbers. But what he was basically saying, he's like, yeah, it would take 2 boxes, blah, and I'm thinking like, the computer is basing it off of something. I have to assume that it's not. It could just be random chance. It could be statistics, but I don't know how. It could just be pure statistics because like people don't fall into. In a I don't know. I'd have to run this through a simulation like I did with Monty Hall to really It wasn't until I ran Monty Hall through a simulation and the numbers came out like you're twice as likely to win when you always switch that I'm like, wait a minute, like that was like the concrete demonstration. But you couldn't simulate this really. Because it has to do with like human, because then it's not just a statistical thing. Because you can't just say, oh, well, people are, twice as likely to choose, whatever. But basically what I was saying was the fact that you are so willing to like choose both.
Yeah.
It's like, it would know that.
Yeah.
So, like, you're not the special person. Like, it knows that you can't, make the hard decision.
Yeah.
So by doing that, you're just proving it right.
Yes. Yeah.
But again, that doesn't change the fact that it's like, but why? But your choice doesn't change it.
Yes.
Is still the crux of the thing that everyone can't get by, that it's like, it's already decided.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but I want to say it's decided based on something, and that something is going to influence you.
Yes.
Or has influenced you, like maybe it did a facial scan, body language, obviously bullshit, but like, it scanned your social media profile and went through your psyche, almost like I posed it as imagine the smartest, best ever poker player who detects like a bluffing. Like, I think about it almost like that. Like the computer would scan you and know what you were going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
Yeah, but yeah, when you're in the room, nothing you choose changes anything about where the money is, but you almost have to make the decision trying to figure out what something would think you would think. And then does that change what you would do, even though, The
hard part is that you just don't know how the supercomputer works.
Yes.
It might not have anything to do with the way you think, but my gut reaction is like absolutely 1 box, and I've been 1 box from the beginning.
Yeah.
Even though I recognize that like 2 boxes like might be like, it's possible that it might be like objectively the right answer. I'm just not convinced. I just don't think it. I don't feel it. I don't know what. And I can't articulate exactly why. But there's no right answer because again, this is like a bullshit hypothetical. You define the parameters.
Yeah. That's fascinating though.
All I was thinking about was like dark. I started to think about like I instantly they said the hypothetical, and for some reason I said to my wife, she was like lying in bed right next to me, and I'm like, oh my God, this has to do with like, this is a free will thing.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's like my past self, my future self comes back to tell me to choose the different box, but does that even change what box it is? Because that would have changed the timeline such that I picked the different box and the computer would know that. Oh my god, I should rewatch Dark. That's funny. I need to watch the video. I had seen it a couple times, the thumbnail. That's so fascinating.
It's good. And they go into a whole bunch of other detail. They do some math. They talk about decision theory. They talk about, yeah, it goes into a lot more.
Yeah.
That will shed more light on, I probably only really went into like 95% of or 90% of the implications or something. I'm only as good as the supercomputer is accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's crazy. I remember the Monty Hall messed me up for a long time. That one it's so unintuitive at first.
Yeah, it's unintuitive.
But that's why I love it.
It's unintuitive until there's like one way to show that it's intuitive. And I think I did it in one of my like a illusion of choice, one of my getting Tarkov video essays.
Yes.
Where I just like showed the dots for like, and you can clearly see that there's just like 6 dots versus 3 dots or whatever the numbers end up being.
And that's one of those things that you'll watch a video on it and you'll get it. You'll be like, yup. And then like 2 days later, if you try to explain it to somebody and they're like, well, why? You're like, it just is, man. Trust me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then someone asks you a good question and you're like, fuck, well, now was I wrong?
Yeah,
now changes your
mind.
And
then you go watch the video again.
And you're like, nope, never mind.
Yep.
I was definitely not wrong.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I've done that like 3 times, bro. I've done that like 3 times. That's so funny. Hell yeah. Well, hell yeah. Dude, I saw you. Were you playing Factorio? Or...
Yeah.
I get Factorio and Satisfactory mixed up. That's Factorio, yeah.
Yeah, I was going back and forth when I was playing Eugenics. I was going back and forth between Eugenics and Factorio because, like, I can only, if those types of games, I can only play for 8 hours.
Yeah.
In a row before I'm like, I need to like turn my brain off of like something else. So yeah, if I've been streaming, 10, 12 hours, usually it's like, 60% one game, 40% the other.
Yeah.
But it was Factorio Eugenics. Took a break from Eugenics and I've been playing Slay the Spire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
W?
Yeah, so I've been on Slay the Spire. It's good. It's good.
Are you playing Slay the Spire or Slay the Spire 2?
2.
Okay.
The new one, yeah, the one that's been popping off.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's the first thing I have to get out of the way right away is that there are like 5 characters. And I really only care about like 2 of them.
Okay.
At the moment. Like the first one you start off with is like a knight, basically. So it's just like he's got a bunch of HP, it's very kind of straightforward. It's really interesting. So it's a card based game where there's like this map, okay?
Yep.
And you start off and you basically go from like point to point on the map. And it's like almost like Super Mario, the old school, where it's like the overworld map.
Yeah, you're on your way to the boss and you can kind of choose a couple of paths.
Yeah, there's just like nodes and you just click the next one. It's not like you're traveling on a map. It's just like a visual representation of like fight 1, fight 2, fight. So it's like you have a fight, an event. So there's fights, there's events, there's a store, there's like a chest, and then there's like elite fights and bosses.
Okay.
And there's right now in like the not pre-release, whatever you want to call it, early access.
Oh, okay.
There's like 3 acts.
Yeah.
So you play all the way through the map, fight the boss, takes you to Act 2, and you get to Act 3. And then you're basically just done. Once you beat the boss for Act 3. And so every step of the way, like once you win a fight, you get more cards to add to your deck. And your cards are basically like it's adjacent to Hearthstone and like Magic a little bit in a few different ways.
Okay.
But like, so for example, I'll talk about the like knight because it's just the most basic bitch thing. Your turn starts and you draw cards.
Yeah.
I think your deck starts with like, I want to say like 8 cards or something.
Okay.
And I'm going to oversimplify, but it's effectively like, there's like 4 or 5 ones that are like attack.
Yeah.
Which is just do 8 damage or do 6 damage.
Yeah.
Or there's a block, which is basically it adds 6 shield.
Yeah.
So you're on the left and the enemies are on the right. There can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if there's really like a limit.
Yeah.
I think the most I've seen is like 4. And you have 3. You can think about it like mana.
Yeah.
The cards can cost 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Some of them can cost X, which is like if you have 1 mana, you play the card, X is 1. If you have 3 mana, you play the card, X is 3. So it might be like do X damage. Do like X times 5 damage, basically.
Yeah.
To all enemies. So if there's like 2 enemies there, you can play a card that's do 6 damage, and you basically take the card and like click and drag it over to like enemy A.
Yeah.
So you can like attack, and block. So that'll be like 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, and that's your turn. And then they go and they basically have like an icon above their head that tells you what they're gonna do next turn.
Gotcha.
So it might have like a sword above their head with like 20. And that means like this guy's gonna attack me for 20 damage next turn.
Yeah.
So you might want to like block. So that would be like 18 or 50. I think it's 15 block.
Yeah.
So then if he does 20 damage, you do 15 shield. That means your HP will go down 5.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of other mechanics. There's like poison.
Yeah, and like weaken,
which is like damage over time.
Yeah.
And there's weaken and strengthen, and those, just do all the obvious things. But what's really interesting about this game is that unlike a lot of other card games, like in Magic, if you go to draw a card and your deck is empty, you lose. Like literally draw step, there's no cards, the game's over. So like a mill deck, for example, like you can just make them discard all their cards, and if they can't draw a card, they lose, right? In Hearthstone, the way it works is that like you're out of cards on turn 1, you'll take like 1 damage, like fatigue damage.
Gotcha.
And then turn 2, rather than draw a card, you take 2 damage. And eventually someone will die, right?
Yeah.
In this game, like you start with like 8 cards, let's say. You can play, or 8 or 10. You can play most of those in like 2 or 3 turns. So what happens is, let's just say you play 4 cards. You play 4 cards, and then there's 2 cards in your left in your deck, 8 cards in your discard. So then if you want to draw 5 cards to start the turn, I think it's 5 or 6. I forget a lot of the details, which is probably making this hard for people to follow, but sorry. You go to draw 5, and it's like there's only 2. So you draw 2, and then it takes your discard and just shuffles it up and puts it back in your...
Yeah.
So you're always cycling.
Which kind of like Balatro, right? Like when you got through, like when you got to the point where you could like draw 14 or whatever, and you got through your deck, it would shuffle them and refill it. I'm pretty sure.
I like don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure that's how Balatro worked.
I don't remember like the fundamental aspect.
Yeah, I mean it's been
like how your deck.
It's been like a year, which in gaming terms is like an eternity.
Yeah. Now I will say there's one similarity with Balatro before I forget. Let's say you get all the way to Act 3 and you win.
Yep.
That you then unlock Ascension 1.
Yes.
Which is like the orange deck, green deck, blue.
Yeah.
So now it's like you play it all over again, except now you start with like half HP.
Yeah.
And then Ascension 2 is like you have half HP and you have like there's a card in your deck now that gets inserted in there that like the card is unplayable and it does nothing. And so it's basically like a dead spot.
Yeah.
Every
on
time
your
you draw it.
yeah.
And I'm on like Ascension, I want to say 7, I think.
Okay.
And it's pretty hard. I win like once a day at this point.
Dang.
And I'll play for like 8 hours.
Dang.
But I'm probably bad. But it's really, really fascinating how that cycling mechanic can make some really cool things.
Yeah.
Because like, you know how in Balatro there's the idea of like thinning out your deck, right? Like let's say you want to play 5 aces every turn. What you want to do is like delete every card.
Yeah,
every
turn
other
everything
card.
into an ace and delete everything that's not. Yeah.
So there are a bunch of mechanics between games, but also during combat that basically let you delete cards from your deck.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I think it's called exhaust. So what exhaust does is it basically like puts it in a pile that's like it's gone.
Yeah. Okay.
So there might be a card that says exhaust your whole hand and draw cards equal to the number of cards you exhausted.
Oh.
So like your opening hand might be like a bunch of blocks in this card, and now it's like it just removed 5 cards from the game. So now it's all your attacks and other cards left. So there's and then once you go to shops, one of the things you can buy like once per shop is like remove a card from my deck.
Okay, yeah.
So like one of the first things I do almost every time is like I try to delete all the blocks because I hate the block mechanic.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's one of those things where if the enemies typically will like attack, attack on turn 1, attack on turn 2, and then they will usually like buff themselves up or debuff you. Like so it's theoretically kind of what you might want to do is like, full block, and then it's like
damage.
Their defenses are down. Now you attack them.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, do I want to waste a whole turn and have like and not make any progress?
Yeah.
It just feels like I'm stalling. So instead, I'm like, I'll just use my health as a resource.
Yeah.
And just tank the damage, but that can backfire. And there's not a whole lot of healing. Like that's the other thing is you don't heal in between.
Yes, unless you get like you can like buy stuff from the shop, right? That heals you.
So I forgot. There's also a rest site. On the map.
Okay.
So when you go there, what you basically have the option of you can either rest, which heals you for like 25% of your HP, or you can forge, and that lets you upgrade one of your cards. So it might say rather than deal 6 damage, draw 1 card, it'll be deal 10 damage, draw 2 cards.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it might make the card cost go from 1 cost to 0 cost.
Yeah.
Or one of the cooler ones that I love that's hard to get. It's called innate. And it makes it so that it's always in your opening hand.
Oh, okay.
So you might have like my favorite deck. I'll explain what my favorite deck is, and then that'll pretty much be most of what I kind of know about the game. My favorite deck is I don't even know if there's a name for it. I just call it the strike deck.
Okay.
So you start off with 4 or 5 strike cards, which is just attack for 6 damage.
Okay.
And then there's the strike cards, there's the block cards, and there's 1 or 2 other. You start with like bash and another thing. There are a lot of cards that are called, and I'm making them up because I don't know the name of them, but it's like epic strike, final strike.
Okay.
There's a bunch of cards that have strike in the name. Now there's one card that basically says, I think it's like deal 6 damage. Deal an additional 3 damage for every card with the name strike in your deck.
Ah.
So I'm doing sometimes 50, 60, 70, 80 damage.
Yeah.
With one card that before was doing only, But you start off with 4 or 5 just strike cards. So it's a pretty good, I think by default it does like, I don't know, 20 damage or something.
Yeah.
And then there's another card that basically is what it says is whenever you draw a card that has strike in the name, it just plays it automatically and you don't have to pay for it.
Oh.
And there are a bunch of cards that are basically like draw 3 cards. So effectively got to the point where I was like a fucking auto clicker.
Yeah.
Where I start the game and it's like I start the game, opening hand gets drawn. Well, actually, so I start the game and I play the card that's like innate or whatever, that does the thing. I play the first turn. Then the second turn, it's like, oh, draw a card, 50 damage, 50 damage, 20 damage, 20 damage. Oh, the fight's over. Like I just didn't do anything. And it gets pretty cool. There are some really cool combos. There are decks like that you can build that are really, really satisfying.
That's dope.
But yeah, overall, the game it's very good. I can see why Slay the Spire won.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that game, but if it's anything like this game, I can definitely see it's got a shit ton of replayability.
Yeah.
I I don't want to play. To play as every character, you kind of have to learn what are all the mechanics for this character.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy with daggers, and that's like he can discard. There's like poison.
Yeah.
And so there are a bunch of cards that have like a sly mechanic that when you discard it, you actually play it.
Ah, okay.
So then discard isn't actually like a bad thing.
Yep.
It's actually like you want as much discard outlets and as many sly cards as possible.
Yeah.
There's another character that's like a necromancer. There's another one that's like a robot kind of thing. And so like at this point, I'm like not interested in starting from scratch and learning all of the mechanics, all of the cards, all of the decks, all of the combos. Cause like you have to discover all of this as you go.
Yeah.
And the more you play with the character, the more of their stuff you unlock.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but I would imagine that they're probably pretty fun. I just can't really be bothered to like
yeah.
But yeah, this game is probably gonna. I almost want to say it's gonna like win Game of the Year just because of how popular it is now.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder like what's early access about it? Is there just more characters that aren't out yet, or like
there's probably more characters. There has to be more than. I guess there doesn't have to be. People were saying that like that the like Act 3, like the amount of time you play, to me it felt like short. I'm like, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Because what ended up happening, I beat the Act 3 boss, okay, the first time.
Yeah.
And then it took me to a thing where I like walked up to some floating god-looking guy.
Yeah.
And there's like a dialogue that's like you don't say anything, and then all of a sudden I did like I just auto attacked with a bunch of damage. It was like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and then he goes, and you die. And then it says, so you can't win.
Oh, okay.
But then it says, you've done this much damage to him. Globally, there's been 41,975,000,000,000. So like there's some kind of counter up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that like unlocks a thing if people hit a certain threshold.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's just a global counter and that's always going to be the end of the game.
Yeah.
But there's this whole like timeline with epoch things that I haven't really cared. I haven't read any of the shit. I don't care about any of the lore. Like I'm one of the like least fanboy whatever. Like I'm sure I'm not appreciating all of the cool things I should probably appreciate, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
But a lot of it has like placeholder art, and it's like this will be a thing later.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I was wondering, like, if I were you, I would have hopped right into Slay the Spire 2 as well. But you'll always wonder at that point, like, how much of Slay the Spire 2 was informed by just the existence of Slay the Spire 1, and like how many mechanics to you might be like, why would you do it that way? And then to a guy that put 8,000 hours in Slay the Spire, be like, oh my God, that's a really cool like reimagination of this thing in Slay the Spire 1, right? And so like there's just it's always hard to come into like the 2 game because the core foundational pillar of the making of Slay the Spire 2 was we have to make something different than Slay the Spire 1. Like we can keep our DNA, surely, right? But so those differences are going to land differently on somebody that's jumping into Slay the Spire 2. And I'm sure they balance that, right? They want it to be like, you don't have to have played Slay the Spire 1 to necessarily learn the mechanics or know the lore. But there's certainly an appreciation or like a novelty to some of the mechanics in 2 that you appreciate coming from 1. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So yeah, I can see that.
But overall, it's like I get why 500,000 people are playing it.
That's cool. That's dope.
It's really good. I don't think I have any really major complaints. Nothing about it has felt like really unfair.
Yeah.
Or bullshit. Actually, now that I think about it, like every time I'm like disappointed, it's always because I was just too lazy to like do the math.
Yeah.
To do like, okay, 8, this guy's vulnerable. So this card says 8, which means it's going to do 12. A lot of times I'll just like AoE, do a thing. And like, I just assume like, I think this is enough. And then there'll be like 3 HP. I have 1 HP left and he's about to hit me for 40 damage. I'm like, oh, it's just over.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah.
And once you die, the whole thing's done.
Sometimes that you could play Balatro the same way, right? Like if in your head you're just like, I'm playing full houses, I'm playing full houses, and then you're like, shit, if I had done a couple extra discards, I might have pulled the glass card and that 1.5 might have taken me there, but I didn't, and now the run's over. Yeah. I can totally see that. That's cool though. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Slay the Spire. Do-si-do.
Indeed.
Well, before we move on, I do want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor for this episode, and that is Ridge. Ridge Wallets, literally S-tier wallet. Bam. The perfect minimal / maximal wallet. It's a minimal wallet that fits in your pocket, and it doesn't freaking kink you over to one side, but at the same time can hold up to 12 cards. You can have the cash strap on the side. If you've got some cash, you can have the clip. You can have the little air tag holder if you want to do that. The Ridge wallets, they are sexy for being so minimal, made out of like insane materials. You can get look at that. Bang. So dude, I'm telling you, if you have like 3 cards and you're carrying around a bulk, if you carry around 3 cards in your ID, oh my God, what are you doing with your life? Like, look at how thin that is. Yeah. They made out of premium materials, a ton. Do you hear that? Aluminum, titanium, carbon fiber. I got the black carbon fiber. You got the like burnt Damascus looking one. They've got insane the customizability and just like the amount of different materials you have to choose from is awesome. It's just like, it's a simple thing, your wallet. It just needs to hold your stuff. And this does that simply and effectively, and they're amazing.
Indeed. I just got two of my cards. I got new cards recently. One expired and the other one I had to cancel. So I've got, but I haven't like gotten rid of the old ones. So now I suddenly have like I have like more. I've got one more than the than what do they say, up to 12?
I think so. Let me see.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, holds up to 12 cards, and you got 13 in there. Sheesh!
I would guess maybe it's not recommended. This is like driving without a seatbelt. I'm really riding unsafe here, but yeah, I mean, like this is still like thinner than my last wallet without cards in it.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's just a solid super utilitarian, super nice looking. The one thing I've said a million times, every time I pull this out at the grocery store, at the gun range, whatever, every time I pull it at the gas station, someone complimented it.
Yep.
They just look so cool. The things are like bulletproof.
Yep.
Asterisk not
not actually bulletproof. Please God.
Yeah, but I mean, they're built like they'll last forever, man.
Yeah.
They're built like tanks. And Ridge also has like a ton of other incredible stuff.
Yep.
The travel battery is still my goat.
Yep.
And by that I mean my wife and I's goat, because she takes mine all the time. There's the travel battery is insane.
Yep.
It's got a little kickstand. I need to get it so I can show it. I'm terrible at this, but got a little kickstand on it. I can plug in like my laptop and my phone. Yep. Magnetic charging.
Yep.
I can have my phone kind of magnetic up against it with the little kickstand, and I can charge it and like watch YouTube.
Yep.
I mean, it's solid.
Dude, they have tons of stuff now. They have rings, which look insanely good. They've got the travel battery. They've got like luggage. Like you can get luggage. The wallets, dude, there's so many now. Cause like I think they recently like refreshed it to like, it's like the Ridge Wallet 2.0. They made it, I think they made it slightly thinner, slightly lighter, but like they're phenomenal. Dude, the iridescent color, the forged Fetty, like the colors are insane. You can get MagSafe versions. So instead of like the little cash strap area, they put the little magnets in so you can MagSafe the Ridge wallet. They got the little keychain thing that it's like a tension key ring so your keys don't jingle around. They've got like leather ones. They're called like Biflex, which is kind of like the same form factor, but with like leather instead of like titanium or something that ages over time. Dude, the amount of stuff they have is insane. And it's one of those things where it's just like, it's the last wallet you'll ever need. They're just incredibly good at what they do. They're thin and yeah, they're awesome. So right now, Ridge is having their once a year anniversary sale. You can head to ridge.com and get up to 40% off. That's up to 40% off. some of these wallets at ridge.com, ridge.com. After you check out, they'll ask where you heard about them. So make sure that you let them know that we sent you. Ridge has free shipping, 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty. Lifetime. Last wall you'll ever need to buy. Thank you so much to Ridge for sponsoring this episode.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bing, 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 bing.
Bing, 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 bing.
So yeah, over on my side of the woods, been just slamming a ton of marathon, having a blast. Dude, there's something about the PvP in this game that's very fun. Very fun. I just love it. You know what's so weird? I don't know why. And genuinely, the answer could be simple. It could just be because I suck at other games. But I'm realizing that like, there's something about Arc Raiders. This isn't like, if you're listening to this isn't me making some big like statement. This is just like me searching my heart here. I don't know why it's like this. There's something about Arc Raiders where every time we die, like, I guess there's something about Arc Raiders that feels like one mistake can snowball more in that game than in Tarkov or Marathon. Like, if I die, I've thrown. We lose. The whole team loses.
And that's the most satisfying. That's what I was saying about Slay the Spire, dude. It's the most satisfying thing.
Yeah.
That like, well,
the only
in a
yes, in a way. The only problem is like my teammates lose because it's a team game.
Yeah,
yes, it's so it's like dude, in Arc Raiders, I love the combat of Arc Raiders. Like, please, you have to know if you've made it 200 episodes into the podcast, right? That what I'm not doing here is like pitting the games against each other. Marathon's better than Arc Raiders, but there's just something about it. I don't know if it's like the third person. I don't know if it's the time to kill. I don't know if it's like the whatever, but and I never felt that way in Tarkov too, because like, and in Tarkov, it's because the time to kill is such that, you know, you can just kill. If I die, if me and Desmond are duoing and I die, that has no bearing on whether Desmond survives or not, right? Because he can just shoot everyone in the face and kill them. Whereas in a game like Arc Raiders, there's, you know, the time to kill is a little bit longer, so the numbers advantage is really strong. And there's something about it where I just like, man, when we go on a string of deaths in Arc Raiders, I just always feel like it's my fault. Like, I made a mistake 10 minutes ago, and that mistake set off a butterfly effect that has led to us dying. And that can be inspiring to like, for me, to make me want to like get better at the game. I'm always like super critically thinking about PvP when I play Arc Raiders, because I'm like, okay, like, what is the move here? How split do we play? How close do we play? How wide do I flank? When is the time where you really want to be away from your team and supporting from distance? And when do you need to be kind of like nuts to butts so that you can trade a kill? Like, there's a lot of that in Arc. So it's not inherently bad. But Marathon is like, dude, like, so a perfect example is I had that thing you were just talking about where I died and it was my fault, and that actually felt good. I was playing with Zwerg and Berkey earlier, and they both died, and I was in a fight with these three guys like for like 7 minutes. And I was constantly repositioning, and I was trying to pick them off. Now, the thing with this game is like there's self-reses, and you can res your teammate. So I had the team down from 3-1 like 2 or 3 times, but could never finish it because I'm like, and there was like one clear moment where I had the fight won and I missed. I whiffed my sniper shot, and then I took a bunch of damage and had to relocate, and then it got back up to 3. But if you kind of just like are okay with the fact that that's how this game is, I ended up dying, and like my heart rate was like almost Tarkov level high. Like I was so close. Like it was one of those things where I was like, chat, I could have won that. I just missed my shot, right? I just missed my shot. And that feels good to feel like I can do that. You know what I mean? Now, it can get a little tiring to like kill the same people 4 times, because like you kill 2 of them, they have self-reses, then you kill them again, but then their teammates right next to them, so they res them, and then you kill them again, and then Triage has his ult, and his ult can insta-res you, and so it's like at some point you're like, god damn, bro, like, you know what I mean? We gotta, what are we gonna do here? But yeah, man, the time to kill in Marathon is like a really hot topic. I really like where it's at. There's one gun, the double barrel shotgun is the most broken gun in any video game ever. And if you like it, I disrespect you as a human. The light in your soul has grown dim and you're a traitor to the human race if you enjoy the double barrel shotgun. It's a double barrel and it's like a break action. And so because it's a double barrel, there's no time.
And can you like shoot? You can't shoot both at the same time. I'm assuming you just like click.
Yes. So it's not. So like if it had been a pump, the damage values would probably work because it would be boom, boom, and you could like get away. But it's boom, boom. And if you're within 10 meters, it's a 2-tap to the best shields in the game, full shield, full HP, and it's a gray gun. Like you can find it on like scavs essentially. Just like boom. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Other than that, if you carve that out, the time to kill in this game is so good. It's so satisfying. It's just long enough. Do you know what it is? It's like a good Tarkov fight where like the time to kill in this game is like Tarkov fights if no one had LPVOs, if everyone had a red dot. Right? Like what skews
but what tier armor?
Like 5, 4 or 5.
What pen ammo?
It's like okay, yeah. So it's like fights if no one had an LPVO and everyone was wearing class 5 armor and everyone had like 41 pen ammo. So it's like dead. It's more than just dead, but it's not like
that's close to like day one. Stock AKS, everyone's PACA.
Yes,
you know,
and it feels like that. It feels good. It feels like enough shots that you can get away sometimes, but enough shots that you don't have to like nonstop reload to kill one person. It feels really good. It feels like the time to kill is super fun. You can 1v3, you can 1v2. There's dude, I don't know. I personally am super, super vibing with the time to kill in this game, and just like it just feels good. But dude, I'm telling you, this game is so weird. Where like I can't tell if I like absolutely adore this game. I'm gonna put 10,000 hours into it, or if I'm already getting tired of it. I can't, dude. There's so many weird. It's so not black and white. Tarkov was Ark was so black and white. There was such an intense honeymoon period. And this, once again, this experience is so much more like Tarkov, where maybe 60% of the day, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if this has legs. I don't know if it's gonna, and then like 2 moments happen throughout the day where you're like, fuck, and you're like thinking about it all day. And you're like, dude, I want more of that. I want more of that. I want more of that. It's so interesting. So like a good example is, dude, the thermals in this game are like insanely broken. And the maps, the visibility on the maps is like ass. Like remember like the worst Tarkov fog days? Like where it's just like, I guess I don't know if you were playing, but yeah, dude, where they're super foggy. You can genuinely be in a fight with somebody and not be able to see them from 20 meters away due to weather, just fog. Like it's really bad. But there are thermals. And it's like, I genuinely feel like I'm playing with wall hacks. Like I feel like dude, it's just insane. Like, and there's a thermal that goes on, it's a 6x sniper optic. That's a thermal. And it's just like, and there's no counter to it because there's sniper glint in the game, but you can't see the glint through the fog. It's so foggy that if the dude's 50 meters away, you can't even see the building he's standing on.
Yeah.
Let alone that there's a guy. And they did nerf somebody said, I thought they nerfed those. They did. They nerfed the thermals by nerfing how far out they show the heat signature. But the sniper one went from it could see you 180 meters away down to 100 meters away. But when you get the super foggy map condition, you can't see 20 meters away. So it doesn't feel like they nerfed it because the guy can still see you 80 meters farther away than you can see him. You know what I mean? So it's like, now it's fun when you've got the thermals, sure. You know what I mean? But like, there's just like some weird decisions like that where I'm like, damn, dude. And the map, I think the map fatigue is going to be interesting. Right now, there's 3 maps in the game: Perimeter, Dire Marsh, and Outpost. Outpost is very cool. It's almost like a factory. It's the smallest map with the least amount of players, but the player spawns are so close together that it's like action, 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 action. So that can be really fun. You can also very easily snowball all of your shit gone if you lose 6 of those in a row. But that can be really fun, right? Dire Marsh is like the biggest map. It's got 6 teams. So
Dire Marsh.
Dire Marsh. So yeah. So 6, 12, 18 total players. That map is turbo fun. And then there's Perimeter, which is like kind of the beginner map. That's got 5 teams. I'm not a huge fan of Perimeter just as a map. And so there's like 2 maps that I'm rotating through. And that's like gonna get tiring pretty quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a 4th map coming. It's like the end game map, the labs. And there's like an ARG going on right now to like unlock it. And I've never, respect to those people, that's just not my jam. I don't really care to like be sitting at terminals, you know, trying to see if the numbers, you know, spell out something. I'll just let them do that. So it's like there is going to be a 4th map, but that map's coming out. But that map is like very much so the end game map, like the map you gear up to go to. So I don't think it's a map that you're going to play on repeat. So it's like another thing that kind of has me down about Marathon is like, I think there's like effectively going to be 2 maps I'm playing for like, I don't know, like 6 months maybe, unless they add a new map in season 2, which I just don't know if they will. So that's got me something that it's like, oh man, like I don't know if they have enough maps. But yeah, I don't know. The PvP has been very, very fun. Progression in this game is fun. There's like a ton. Like I probably have 50 hours since the game came out on last Thursday, 1 week ago. Like I'm probably 50, 60 hours in, and I'm level 50 and max level's 100. And I'm like 22% of the way through all the like upgrades. Like there's tons of stuff to upgrade.
Okay.
Tons of contracts to do, tons of quests to do, tons of events to do, tons of things to like level up your hide. You don't have a hideout in this game, but to like level up all of the different what you can buy from the store, the traders, basically leveling up the traders so you can buy more things from the store.
And how many are there? Were there like 6?
6 factions, so 6 traders. Yep. And then each one you can get each faction to level 30. And then when you get to level 30, you get to like VIP rank 1, and I'm not sure if there's progression past that. And then each faction has like 40 upgrades you can choose from. And so it's like there's just a ton there.
Yeah.
So it's like that's been rewarding, like going and that's almost been a nice change of pace to have something to do in the raid other than PvP. I'm like, I need to do this quest. And some of the quests are like, so if there's a scale of like, this is Tarkov quests, right? Where it's like Jaeger quests, you know what I mean? Like stub your left toe, do a 360, kill a scav, you know what I mean? Like that kind
Throw
of
your
shit.
mouse against the wall.
Yes.
Break one Logitech mouse.
On the other side of the spectrum is like Arc Raiders quests, which is like go press F in this area on the map, quest complete. Like very chill, right? This Marathon is like more on the Tarkov side, but much less ass. Like a much healthier middle ground. Like there will be quests that like in a single run, you have to do these 3 things, which take you like all over the map, like literally each corner of the map. So there's like tons of opportunity for PvP because you can't really do that quest slow. You have to basically be hauling ass the whole time to make it there. So it's forcing you to kind of like take rotations you wouldn't normally. So maybe you're going to get into some PvP in weird spots. There's quests that like go here, do this thing, get this sample, go to the other side of the map to analyze the sample, then inject yourself with the drug you found and get a player kill while under its effect. So it's like, you can't just play for the spawns you have to go do that, which means you have to find a player like 8 minutes into the raid, not at the very beginning.
Oh.
But there's no safe pocket, so there's not a whole lot of quests that are like, go get this thing and like it has to be found in raid, right? So it's like they take the edge off of the worst ones, but there are enough quests that are actually like there's one of the quests in the game that your squad has to kill 9 players in raid, which is like a lot to kill. So it's like
is it a squad specific quest?
No, it's one of the faction quests is kill 9 runners, but like if your teammate kills a runner, it counts.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
gotcha.
Between the 3 of you, you have to kill 9 players.
Okay.
Which
I knew. I don't know where I saw this. Someone's video. There's like one faction that's like solely about like kill other people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Arachne. It's literally like they want you to kill other, and it all fits in with the lore of like the different factions vying for control of the planet. So yeah, there's PvP quests, there's PvE quests, there's fetch quests, there's like traversal quests, there's hard quests, there's super easy quests. Every faction has, they're called priority contracts and standard contracts. The priority contracts are like the storyline missions, and then the standard contracts are basically like dailies. Like you never gotcha. Don't have a standard contract. If when you complete it, it just re-rolls to another one. If you don't like it, you can re-roll it a certain amount of times. You can always have a standard contract, but the priority contracts are like the storyline ones, and you can like finish those. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. There's like, once again, like I've been like chopping it up with Ham, talking a lot about the game, like what it does well, what it doesn't do well. And like I am undeniably having a ton of fun and getting my value out of the game. But it's so interesting that like it just sits in such a weird place in my brain where like all day I'll be like, this, I don't know. And then I'll have like a couple of hours of like the most fun I've ever had. Like it's so in and out. So I expect, what I hope happens is that they find their like really like true identity over time. They already have really good like content planned. Like there's like season 2 already has another runner planned. There's more mechanics planned. There's map conditions planned. There's more maps planned. Like they really, what I also really think is going to work in their favor is they're doing forced wipes. They're doing the Tarkov style. Forced wipes.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, do they have like? Is it on like a regular schedule?
Yes, every 3 months, every season, it's a wipe, and that's actually, unless someone in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, the only extraction shooter to do that since Tarkov. Like Delta Force and ABI don't have wipes unless they started doing those. But like the last time I hopped into ABI, I had like $40 million last time I hopped into Delta Force, I had like $40 million because of when I played last. I don't know if the Cycle Frontier lasted long enough to have a wipe. Arc Raiders doesn't have wipes. DMZ didn't have wipes. Like no other extraction shooter has done the forced. Now, Arc Raiders tried to do their like elective wipe system where like every 8 weeks you can choose to wipe, but you don't have to.
Yep.
But Marathon is doing hard stop every 3 months it wipes. And I think that's going to be good for the game because I think people really undersell how much that actually carried Tarkov, because when there's an update, when there's a big update, people coming back to the game knowing that they're not behind. Like, oh yeah, I played Marathon back in that season. Is it good now?
Yeah.
They're not coming back and being like, I know all I'm going to fight is people with purple shields and thermals, right? Because that's what it's going to be by the end of the season. Everyone with purple shields, everyone with gold shields, everyone with thermals. So to know you can come back and be competitive again. And then 2, it's an on-ramp for new players. There's new season.
So it's a time to start.
They do the marketing. You can, as a new player, come in. So if a game is going to be a game that is going to get better over time, I think that the forced wipe system works for them because it's constantly rolling out the red carpet and saying, come join. You're not behind, right?
True. Very true.
And so if the game is just going to be S tier at launch, then maybe you don't need it. Maybe you just need to let everybody bask in the glory of your game. So it's like, I'm coping, right? Like to be frank, like I am coping that they'll continue to find their identity. They'll continue to make good content. They'll continue to flesh out the systems that work. They'll subtly change the ones that don't. And my hope is that like a year from now, Marathon will just only be in a better spot. And the wipes will be just like S tier opportunities for people to come in. And it can be a game that grows over time. Destiny 2 was like that. Destiny 2 came out in like 2017, 2018, and it hit its peak concurrent player base in like 2024.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's insane. Hold on. When did Destiny 2 come out?
Was there some kind of like fucking Markiplier started playing then or something? Like,
no.
There had to be some other reason.
Yeah. Destiny 2 came out in September 6th, 2017, bro. And then if I pull up Destiny 2 on Player Tracker, peak concurrent player base was 3.1 years ago, so 23. Yeah, so 2020, it came out in 2017, and it hit its peak concurrent player base in 2023. I think it literally is what I just said. They had years and years and years and years and years of people playing the game and then stopping playing the game. And then they would make updates that would like, I think that was like the end of like a story arc that they had been working on for forever. So all the people that are playing, all the people that had recently played, and all the people that hadn't played in such a long time were like, ooh, I should check this out. And then you have this boom, you know what I mean? And so if they have like a moment like that, like a year from now, you know what I mean? Where they have a couple seasons under their belt, they really lock in with what works for Marathon and stuff like that. I wonder if a Marathon could have a similar trajectory. It's inherently going to be a much more niche game. The conversation. I think we touched on this a little bit last week, but the conversations around like concurrent player numbers on Steam are just like literally never ending. Which, dude, by the way, if you're out there, shout out to my homie. So much for subtlety. He's
again coming in clutch again.
Yeah, he's always coming in clutch, dude. He was like, yo, I was watching the podcast last week about the discussion on player counts and stuff like that. And he sent me a YouTube video called How Box Office Obsession Broke Our Brains. And it's about movies. And it was about the same thing. This video came out like a year or two ago. And it was basically about how like the movie scene, all these like regular people are, when they're like reviewing movies, are always talking about how much it made at the box office, as if that fucking mattered if you liked the movie or not. And there's a quote from that Subtlety sent it to me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna save this. And the quote from that, it's about movies, but it very much so applies. It says, please try to remember you are not on the payroll. You are not in the boardroom. You don't make money when the film you like makes money, and you definitely don't lose money when it flops. Cinema is not a sport. It's not a competition. It's an art form. And if a movie moved you, you win. And I do get that games are a little bit different when you're signing up for like a live service game that you are hoping continually has content. But I think broad strokes, that applies. If you like the game, you win. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, so, but you know, but here's the thing.
If concurrent player base was the only metric that mattered, Candy Crush is the best game ever made. You know what I mean?
People don't know what they want, and they don't know what's good, and they don't know, they want to be told what to think and what to feel. And obviously I'm like overgeneralizing, but like the box office numbers, the Steam chart numbers, there's a stand-in for like reviews, which is a stand-in for quality, which is a stand-in for how people feel about it, which is a stand-in for how you should feel about it.
Yeah.
It's just speed running to should I like it or not.
Yeah. Like I get that inherently games are a more community-driven thing than movies, because you can go to a movie alone in the theater, weep, be moved, and then walk out and be like, I had an amazing experience. If no one else was playing Marathon, I couldn't queue into a raid. I couldn't get PvP. So I understand.
Yeah, but I don't think.
No, I know.
That,
I don't think that statement covers all that's happened in the gaming space. But what I do want to say is I do plant the flag there and say I do understand it's a bit more of a communal thing, and that your enjoyment of a game long term, depends on other people being in the sphere. But I think that has been taken way too far. And I think that, like, exactly, if you had fun playing the game, you win. You win the game that you're playing, which is like doing something I want to do with my time. You won.
Yeah, but
you have fun.
But that's only relevant if you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody who's already paid the money for it.
Yeah.
And so again, it's the stand-in for am I going to like it is if everyone else likes it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what the reviews ultimately come down to. If it's popular, that means it's good.
Yes.
And if it's good, that means I'll like it.
Yes. And once again, exactly. That falls apart so fast when you realize there's 800,000 people playing Candy Crush right now. And if that's the only metric on if a game is good, then like freaking Counter-Strike is worse than Candy Crush. Not really. Counter-Strike always has 8 million people, but you know what I mean?
Go watch Dark, see how many people watch that show, and then it'll demonstrate how everything's meaningless and nothing matters. Go watch 1889 or whatever the fuck, and see that it never got a second season. Never got a second season. Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that was just such a great, like, the video was really good. And Roblox. Yeah, exactly. The video was really good, and it so much so applies to that, because there's a lot of parallels to, like, it's become sports where it's almost like we're betting on the success or failure, and people's desire to be right or wrong trumps their desire to, like, find enjoyment or fulfillment. So if I think this game is gonna fail, I at this point I just want to be right more than I want to be wrong. And if I think a game is going to fail, I want to be wrong more than I want to be right. Right? Like, I might look at Highguard and go, hey, they might have launched this too early, but I hope they find a core audience, because more good games is more better. But it's like, there's like this fear of like the shoe dropping, and then, that the game, like, I don't know, like, the hoodwinking. We talked last week, and you actually kind of like had really good devil's advocate points last week, where we were talking about value and how value is very subjective. And if you haven't bought a game yet and you're looking like how much value do you get out of a game, it's okay to say, I want to buy this game and I am looking for maybe 1,000 hours of value. And if I'm not sure I'm going to get that, then I'm not sure if I want to buy the game. That's actually the best time to kind of have that conversation with yourself, is before you spend the money. So it's like, that's fair. Like, value is something, but yeah, just that quote that like, because once again, I can understand those things. I can understand maybe you're not going to get the value you want to get. I can understand games are more community driven, but it's gotten so far that I just keep going back to that quote. You're not on the payroll. You don't make money if the game succeeds. You don't make money if the movie you enjoyed succeeds. And it's like, man, that's such a good summation. It feels like everyone on Twitter is on the board. Like, they're arguing as if it's their paychecks on the line if Bungie can't recoup the investment Sony put into Bungie. Sony bought Bungie for like $4 billion, and Destiny, if you look at the earnings reports from Destiny, they have really been underperforming. And it's like, do you hear yourself? Like, I always go back to that Northern line.
Yes. They're all just role playing. None of this matters. Nobody cares about any of this shit. None of it matters. It's all fucking role playing, and that people just don't want to think for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I go back to that Northern Lion quote all the time, where he's like, these are action figures for adults. Like, these are toys. Yeah. They're toys. You know what I mean? He there was like this one clip I saw the other day where he was like, somebody was like, this looks like a kid's game. And he was like, you really think that your favorite hobby was for adults, huh? Even though you've been doing it since you were 6 years old? Make that make sense. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, like, they're toys, bro. They're toys. They're action figures. You go to the Steam library and you're in the action figure aisle at Walmart, bro. Pick one that you think looks cool. If the one you think looks cool, I don't think looks cool, and if the one I think looks cool, you don't think looks cool, that's fine. If you buy your action figure and have fun, and if I buy my action figure and I have fun, we both won. We're both winning at life. Like, you know what I mean? We are winning at life. We are having fun with our action figures. So, I don't actually remember what got me on that topic. We were talking about marathon, but yeah, so the TLDR, man, is that like, there are a lot of things that like I don't like about marathon. There are a lot of things that like concern me about marathon. There are a lot of things I really enjoy about that game, and it's been a perfectly timed break from arc raiders for me.
Oh yeah, true.
Just like because like for sure, if marathon came out like this the week arc raiders came out. Like if Marathon in its current form came out the week Arc Raiders came out, like I can confidently say I'd be playing Arc Raiders. There was a magic that happened there, but that magic was just shallow. And the couple of weeks before Marathon came out, I was talking to him all the time where I was like, dude, like we have nothing to do. We're just PvPing. Like there's only 12 guns in the game, and so that means everyone only uses 3. So it's like I'm using a Ven, he's using a Ven, I'm using a trigger grenade, he's using a trigger grenade. I was like, I'm kind of going stir crazy here. So this has been like a perfectly timed thing to play, and I am having so much fun. I really like the TTK, I really like the PvP, I really like being in first person again. Some of the build crafting stuff has been insane. The gunplay feels snappy as fuck. Sniping in that game feels so satisfying. Like the game feels so good. And my hope is that they just continue to cook. They don't have the pressure of 500,000 concurrent players. You know what I mean? Like I think that my hope is that it cooks. Like my hope is that this is the worst marathon will ever be. It will get better over time. There's genuinely a possibility that like 2 weeks from now, I'm either back on Tarkov or back on Arc or back on like a mixture of all 3. You know what I mean? Like I want to be upfront that like in its current state, I don't know with just the 2 maps that I want to play, I'm going to be playing this for thousands of hours, but it undeniably has the bones to be a game I would play for thousands of hours. I hope that they just figure out its identity, because you know, something that Ham is bringing up a lot is like, and we've talked about this a lot in Tarkov, where it's like, what does the game want? What does that famous thing we asked Nikita, what's a perfect raid? You know what I mean? And you know, for all the failings of Nikita, his answer was perfect, right? Because he was able to answer that without saying like a raid where you like find loot and then do this thing. He was like a raid that moves you, a raid that you want to talk about. And I was like, wow, that's sick. And we've been talking a lot about how Marathon has taken inspiration from a lot of different things, a lot of inspiration from Tarkov, a lot of inspiration from like Apex, a lot of inspiration from all this kind of stuff. But what does it want to be? Sometimes it feels like everything locks in really good, and then everybody like self-reses and use the weird abilities, and then you have to like reorient and be like, oh, that doesn't feel good. But then if you're coming from the more battle royale side, Ham is oftentimes like, no, I love that. I love all that stuff, but like there's not enough players. And it's kind of just like, we've got a, you know, for the, you know, square peg, round hole analogy, we've got a triangle peg. And sometimes it feels like there's a square hole and a round hole. And it feels like we're like going back and forth trying to fit it, where it's like, we've taken some of this and we've taken some of that, and we've created something new, but what does it want you to do? Does it want to be that experience where like everything is dangerous and you could die really quickly? But then it gives you all these like self-reses and you can like infinitely res your team. And then do we want it to be this super combat focused thing? Well, you know, there's, you know, you can get into it. Sometimes it has the Tarkov thing where like you get into the spawn fight, where like 4 teams meet up and they all fight. And the winner of that team, there's like no one else to fight on the map. So it's like the flow is like this game, but the combat's like this game and this. And so it's like, that's where I feel like they need to kind of like form their identity and like form, which I think will happen over time, certainly. But yeah. So I don't know. It's been fun. I've been having a blast. I have tons left to do in the game that I want to do. Like I'll probably be on it all next week. But yeah, I'm very interested. Very intrigued to see the future of marathon for sure. For sure.
You know what? I just right now got $1 million idea. The question is, do I say it or do I do it? God, it's so funny. Like this isn't actually one of those things, but there are times where I think about something and I'm like, there's an idea I have for a thing. I know it would be like super lucrative. I know I could do it. I just can't bring myself to give a fuck enough to like I'm just not. Money doesn't like motivate me. It's just never been a motivator. But my half joking, half sort of serious idea is, so let's say I come up with the most like ambitious, like I'm gonna make Escape from Tarkov 3.0.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the greatest ever thing. I hype it up so much. Let's say I spend a ton on all this stuff. I mean, like I'm making videos about how hype it's going to be. I'm tweeting about it, all this stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I go on Polymarket or whatever those apps are, and I just put all money on it failing. And I don't ever try. No, wait.
Yeah.
No, never mind. Now walking through it, it just occurred to me that everybody would bet on it failing. So in order to make money with one of those things, you need to take the long shot.
Yes,
so
but in your hypothetical here is the marketing is sufficiently convincing people that it's going to be good. Like you're saying, you're tweeting about it, you're doing all this, you're making
that assumes
that's true. In 2020,
that assumes people.
In 2021, that would work. In 2026, there's an equal and opposite reaction where the better a trailer is, the less people trust that shit.
There's just enough people who are convinced that like who tend to agree with me in my opinions, who are convinced that like I would do it right, then are convinced I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about and would do it wrong. I don't know if there's more or not. But the only reason why that just came to mind was I just watched the Will Duffy like
I need to watch it. Yeah,
or whatever. Oh God! Every time we talk about this, we have to like give a quick summary. The final experiment was this pastor, Will Duffy, who was like independently wealthy. He's the one that challenged a bunch of flat earthers to go down to Antarctica to see the 24-hour sun to prove that the Earth wasn't flat. They did that whole thing. One of the flat earthers, Jeranism, had his mind changed. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, he's been doing. He's also happens to be a young Earth creationist.
Yeah.
So he thinks the Earth is like 6,000 years old. And but he also, in being intellectually honest and curious, recognized that like he denied evolution
without
ever actually understanding it.
Yeah.
And he was like, if I'm not going to be a hypocrite and like, don't do the thing that I was accusing all the flat earthers, then I should like kind of put it to the test. I should educate myself and look at the evidence and make up my mind. So this YouTuber and also biology, I don't know if she's a professor or I don't know exactly. Yeah. She's a content creator and some kind of educator in biology, and she like knows her shit, and she's a fantastic educator. Agreed to basically once a month have like a 4-hour to give him like a lecture, almost like a college level class once a month for at least a year, basically, I think. And he's basically just been sitting there going through the lectures and whatever. And someone made a joke about, and I don't know, I think it was a joke talking about, I don't know if it was Polymarket or maybe one of like one of the fake betting apps, or basically like they made a reference to betting on whether or not he'd have his mind changed. And all I've been thinking about in the last like 4 hours is how like every time I hear anything about these like betting apps, I think about how insider trading has to be the default.
Oh, like, yeah, it is.
Anything that involves anybody what's preventing? I don't know enough about them. Okay, I've never looked into them. I don't care. There has to be. I want to say there has to be, but I also have lost faith in humanity a long time ago. Especially when it comes to like crypto and betting. Like it's just the Wild West, and there's no regulation, and everybody is an idiot getting fucked by idiots scammers who are fucking them. It like has to be the case that there's like so much insider trading is like the default.
Yes.
And all I was thinking about was like, if I was him, I would just figure out whatever the long odds were,
and then just say that was what your opinion was.
Bet all like what's preventing him from betting money? Like there
Nothing.
Can't be. There's nobody that's like looking at his license connected to. I assume you have to do some kind of identity, but maybe you don't. That's like saying like, oh, this guy, his name matches the title of the like no one's doing that.
No, they are. The thing is, if, as I understand it, if you were a famous enough person to have like a polymarket bet on something you wanted to do, and then you just bet all your money on one thing and did the thing that made you the money, you haven't broken any laws. It's not gambling.
Oh my god,
that's their thing.
But it's not like securities. Like
their
there's
thing
no
is that
insider
it's
trading.
dude. No, like the amount of like there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, not to get political, but it was like 8 hours before we struck Iran, there was like suddenly a whole bunch of people betting that we would, and they all made a bunch of money. Like there's all
all of these analysts making predictions.
Yeah,
without...
it's fucking insane, bro. It's insane. The market, those markets are rife with like genuine just like insider trading. They basically just like exist as insider trading apps to siphon money away from poor desperate people. Like they're horrendous, bro. It's so bad.
It's Trump coin is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Shit, I can't say that. Not on the. It's on the Patreon.
Yeah, you gotta go to the Patreon. No, it's
Patreon is where I can.
Bing, 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 bing.
But yeah.
Yikes.
Oosh, bro. Last like gaming thing. Have you seen what Nikita tweeted like yesterday or today?
Nope.
Okay. I have not played Tarkov in, however long. Go watch the video for what they're changing. He tweeted and he was like, we're making some changes to ADS, aiming down sights in Tarkov. I'm really excited. I've always dreamt of a game that was like this.
Is it like Battle State?
No, Nikita. It was at Nikita. Yeah, you can go to
this is on Twitter.
You can go to my profile and like I retweeted it.
JesseKazam. Nah, fam. New reworked, realistic, non-linear aiming. So it just
shakes your screen when you ADS.
So it's almost as if it's like putting it up and like putting it into your shoulder.
Nestling it. Yeah. Yeah. What's crazy is that they showed in the video the old way because it just makes the new way look so much worse. I'm just watching the video. It's so bad.
I'm trying to... What's going through my head right now, I hate to say it, the first thing is that like I'm genuinely trying to be like, all right, is this bad or not?
Yeah. It's so
what I'm thinking about is not how it looks.
Yeah.
And not only how it would feel, but how it might feel to other people and how that might change fights. I'm thinking about all this.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's so bad. I hate it so much.
Oh my god, low ergo with the it's not a dragon off. What is it again? The
SVD.
SVD. It's like
yeah.
1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000, 5, 1000 steady.
100%, dude. It's so bad.
I mean, there's a chance.
The question is why.
Always wanted to have this approach to aiming in FPS because right now it's unrealistic and linear. We will refine it more and test it first in ETS. Always wanted to have this approach because right now it's unrealistic. Nikita. Real life isn't 48 FPS, okay? Unrealistic. Fix it. Real life doesn't have lag or netcode, Nikita. Fix it. Real life isn't in 1440p, Nikita. Unrealistic. Fix it. I want it to be, like Quark resolution.
Yeah. This is just like,
I don't have to urinate in the game. Unrealistic. Add it in there. It's arbitrary. Like, why it goes back to like, why is realism good?
Exactly. And this is one of those things where it's like abstraction, right? Where like, we've talked about that before back when we were both playing Tarkov, and we would talk about like aim punch and camera shake and like, and the separation of like your like face and eyes from where your gun is pointing, and how in real life, your brain basically like stitches that together, right? Like those are things that happen. You flinch, but you don't notice it like you notice it in a video game because you're the one like, feeling the impact and flinching with it, and your body like knows how to naturally respond. Whereas in Tarkov, because I literally just said it a couple times. What is it? Not camera shake, flinch.
Aim punch.
Aim punch. Because in Tarkov, you don't know what direction the aim punch is going to go. You don't like know how to respond because you're like reacting to the thing. So it's like,
no. So I think what's better than aim punch is recoil.
Sure.
You don't know how your body's going to react when you get shot with a bullet. I would say random is a lot fairer than recoil.
Yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is that like
before the comments,
we've had this conversation many times about how like it can be more realistic when it's less realistic, because what we're not trying to do is simulate the things that happen in real life. What we're trying to do is simulate the experience of being there. And
the experience, yeah.
And sometimes your brain and your body and the thing that are happening can appear different than just the list of things that are happening.
Yep.
And this falls under that category for me, where I've shot at guns enough times, and enough people on Twitter that are like Marines and like people that shoot all the time are like sounding off. They're like, this is not even close to realistic. I can't, you could maybe convince me that happens, but after any amount of training, your brain blocks that fucking shit out. You just doom. And the whole point is you're a highly trained soldier, right? And so it's like, this just feels like for the sake of the spirit, for the sake of like the letter of realism and not the spirit of realism. This doesn't feel like it makes the experience simulate real life better. It just feels like for the sake of it. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to make the experience worse, IMO.
Yeah, so a couple things. One, what someone said in chat is that like COD uses these animations, but they're snappy.
Yes.
Like I think like if it was a visual way of looking at it, but like it didn't seem like it was making it 2x the fucking duration of the animation, then it wouldn't be so bad.
I agree. Which is what I said. We were watching so Gray Zone is about to come up with Gray Zone Warfare is about to come up with another big update. And so they've been releasing dev blogs. And they were just showing off some of their new gun animations. And we were watching it today, and it happened to see that they had some where they were like ADSing and they were like showing the different animations of the guns. And Gray Zone has a little bit of this, but it's like, they were showing the Ergo changes. It's like a tenth of this. And I noticed it immediately. I was like, look, why couldn't it have just been like this? There's a little bit of sway, similar to like what Simply Glued Together said about COD, where it's like, if you're not playing and you like watch somebody ADS, you would notice like, oh, there's a little bit of like, the gun settling, but it's not so bad. This just seems so extreme. Like this seems like they're putting it in slow motion just for the sake of it. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. So, and real quick, just to like finish what you were saying or add to what you were saying earlier, because like this is something that I like feel like I had sort of sussed out back in the day, and then once I like had the realization, it was like an aha moment in terms of game design, which is like, if you want a certain experience, if you want to replicate a certain real life experience in a video game, sometimes I think like people like Nikita make the mistake of thinking that what you need to do is like, yeah, like you said, bullet point list of what are the things that happen from like a high level, and then just replicate exactly those things.
Yeah.
Okay. But what you end up with as a result is a totally unrealistic experience. I.e., like with recoil, the fact that like when you shoot the gun and it starts to recoil, you have almost before your eyes respond, your body feels your shoulder, your hands, your feels where it's going and can respond.
Yeah.
In a game,
you only have your eyes.
It's only visual, which removes a massive amount of the feeling of control. When if it's just random, then you're like, and it's too fast to be able to actually, if it does this and then the next bullet's going to bring it to the right, it's already too late for you to pull down to the right, because then it's going to, so what you end up with is just like the recoil feels like shit and I fucking hate it. So the experience, if you want a certain experience, sometimes that requires abstracting certain real world elements that can't be replicated like one for one in a video game.
Yeah.
Like unless you have like force feedback mice, right? You have to abstract those real world elements in some unrealistic way that's like a video game concession.
Yeah.
But that ultimately makes the experience the same as real life, which then would make it more realistic and immersive. One of the examples I had when it came to like the teammate indicators.
Yes.
You might know people aren't running around with like, well, I guess some of the like augmented, I'm sure there's some like super advanced tech, military, augmented reality, GPS related IR stuff that does this, right? But ignoring that, even if none of that tech existed, the fact that you recognize that your enemies look, run, walk, talk a certain way, your squad mates who you've been training with and fighting with for years are wearing certain clothes, they have unique faces and voices, and all of those things make it so that when someone walks in front of you in real life, you can very quickly, much faster than in a video game, when two USEC 1 with the same default outfit could be in front of you, which one's your friend? You'd have to go, which one are you?
Jump,
wiggle.
Jump,
That's
look up,
so
look up.
unrealistic. Where in real life, you would know if it was Terrorist 101 versus Steven, you would recognize them, right? So that's why, like, the experience in real life is quickly identifying friend versus foe. That's the experience you want to replicate.
Yeah.
Sometimes, arguably, it could very well be that one really good way to replicate the ability that you innately have in real life to discern friend and foe is to put a dot above your teammates' heads.
Yep.
Even though that is unrealistic, it's about the end result.
Yes.
I just wanted to like go through that whole thing because I feel like it's so critical to this
and
whole
that's
fucking
why
realism thing.
I think this is so ass because like it's just it just feels like the realism for the realism's sake. It doesn't feel like it actually adds anything to the game.
It added aim punch to the animation.
Yeah, pre-aim
shouldering.
punch. You're getting pre-fired by aim punch when you right click. And like, and I just can't see a universe where that doesn't like, because if somebody's standing in the middle of the road looting, that doesn't matter because you're just going to ADS, you're going to line up your shot anyway. where this is going to matter is like when you see a guy and you try to ADS on him real quick. And like, if you don't frame it up perfectly where you start shooting while you're still in that animation, you're never going to come out of that because then you're going to start to hit the recoil. And like, those are some of the most frustrating moments where you feel like you're fighting the game when the game's not doing like, once again, another like thing that they added that no one has ever been like super stoked when that happened in the game is like when like the weapon jamming, when they completely redid that and the durability. And now like what happens in real life, when your gun gets to 96 durability, do you sell it and buy a new one? Nope. But because that's the other side of what you're talking about. You're saying there's abstractions we make that make the game less realistic, but make it feel more realistic. And the other side of that coin is when we do things in a video game for the sake of realism, that experience is never held. People will find any way to get around it. So Nikita, when he added gun jamming in the game, was thinking about all the times in the middle of a fight, the gun would jam and then you'd have to rack the bolt and slam your gun and then get back into the fight. What really happens is everybody sells their guns at 96 durability and swaps it out. It'd be like, does that, you know what I mean? So it's like, this is just going to be one of those things where it's like point fire is going to be even stronger and people already get mad about that. And it just doesn't seem like it's going to ever add anything. It's just like taking away a little bit more of that like agency for a couple of frames after you ADS. And then the other thing that I was talking about on stream is like where this hurts. And this is, I have to be careful here because this gets into the back in the day, you know, when they would, people would get mad at the game and they'd be like, why don't they fix this? You know, they're just adding more guns. And we had to be like, well, that's their job. They're the animators, you know, so I get that we get into this territory too. But what I want to say is something like this falls so flat when there are so many bugs in the game. Like, and specifically in the video, by the way, you can see, I don't know if you have it pulled up. It's fine if not.
I do.
At the 24-second mark, he swaps to the SR3 and it says medium ergo old. The very first ADS.
Say 23 seconds.
25 seconds. 24 seconds.
Yeah.
That very first ADS is one frame. Do you notice that?
The medium ergo old?
Medium ergo old. The first time he ADSs, it's one frame, and then the other two are normal ADSs. Do you see that?
Wait a minute. Is this the
medium ergo old, 24 seconds. It's the 9x39. It's like the Val.
Yeah, okay, the Val.
The very first time he ADSs that, you see how it skips?
Yeah.
That's been in the game for 6 years.
So that's not like frame drop in the recording.
No, that's been in the game for 6 years. And everybody knows there's tutorials about this. Everybody knows you skip the ergo of the gun. You skip the ergo if you ADS out of a sprint. And there's a very specific timing.
Is it every gun or just a few of
every
them?
Gun. Every once in a while, I don't know why. Maybe it's when you swap weapons, but sometimes you'll get that insta ADS. And then everybody knows, like this is like Glorious has made shorts about this. These are shorts all the time where if you ADS with a gun, you have this like really slow ergo. But if you ADS at just the right time coming out of a sprint, you whip your gun up out of the sprint. And so like there's guides out there that are like, don't worry about building for ergo, just ADS like this and you never have to worry about it. There have been bugs like this in the game for so long. And instead of like fixing them, you know what I mean? They're just like making ADS more. So that's one of those things where like it falls so flat. Like 1.0 has had so many bugs. People have been locked out of the story. You know, it's 4 months later. People haven't been able to do this. There's been a bug in the hideout, in the shooting range where you can't use LPVOs in the hideout because like your FOV is like you're holding the gun all the way out here. All this kind of stuff. And so it's just like, yes, maybe like 2 guys have been working on this in their off time. Like I'm not saying that they're mismanaging their time. What I'm saying is that it falls flat to be like, we know that there's a ton of shit wrong with our game, but don't worry, we took a thing nobody cared about and made it worse. Like, it just feels so like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So yeah, I just thought that was funny. I mean, literally, I haven't played Tarkov in like 2 months. I just saw that tweet and then saw the response to it. And like, somebody like quote tweeted it and was like, I've never seen the Escape from Tarkov audience so aligned on anything. And it was just like, everybody was like,
ironically enough, it was even more after the fucking recoil video.
Oh,
and
yeah, for sure.
And then the change that came out as a result, everybody was like, oh, this is incredible.
Yep.
That's the most fucking united I ever saw the community.
Yeah. It was so funny. The official Gray Zone Warfare Twitter account just tweeted a GIF of like sitting in a chair, like watching, because they knew what was about to happen. So it's like, once again, I'm so out of the Tarkov loop. I just had like 5 people be like, bro, please watch the Nikita tweet. And so I watched it and was like, oh my God, bro. It's so freaking crazy. But anyways, that's it. That's the gaming stuff. Anything else going on?
I don't think so. Just trying to doing all the wiring. We just got the electric
in the new house?
all the electrical in the new house done, and then we have a separate guy who does like AV. He does everything. He does like AV stuff, security stuff, networking stuff. And I just got a quote on like this whole suite of things, because like ultimately I'm gonna have like I want a rack that has like all the network switching, power backup, like have a NAS, all my router, modem, all the fucking things, right?
Yeah.
On a nice rack setup. Local recording of all the security cameras. I want them all hardwired. Like doorbell camera, that I've been going through all the whole networking IoT stuff. I want to have like ceiling mounted wireless access points.
Yep.
Because like historically I've always had like a Wi-Fi router in the basement. On
3
one corner,
rooms have good Wi-Fi and everything else has shitty Wi-Fi. Yeah.
And then just looking into just getting quotes for all the stuff. It's like, what I'm probably going to end up doing is like day one, I'll have like my doorbell camera and I'll have Wi-Fi, and then a bunch of Ethernet cables and a whole bunch of other stuff, just like swinging from a bundle in the basement. And then there's been a lot of things that we've been kind of basically saying like, we're going to do the prep work now. Like we're running speaker wire into the like vaulted ceilings of our living room.
Yeah.
But like, I don't give a fuck about surround sound or anything now. In the future, I might. So I'm like, I'm gonna wire this stuff in now, but I'm also, I'm not gonna buy like this, the 10 security cameras now and have to then install it, and because man, shit's adding up
for sure. It's dude. I literally, it's so funny. Every once in a while, I just fall down to like a rabbit hole of like a project I want to do. And I think I told you like 6 months ago, it was running.
Your stove?
Well, there was that.
Oh, okay.
But it was running Cat 6 cables through the house. And like, it was such an issue because we have vaulted ceilings and we're in an old house. So like, there's cables I wanted to get to where like, I couldn't physically go through the ceiling. But then I found a bunch of cables wired on the outside of my house that was like old phone jack stuff. So I like pulled them out and ran like outdoor rated Cat 6. So basically I ran a couple drops in my walls so that I could get some switches and everything, like the TV and the Nintendo Switch and the stuff in our rooms could be hardwired and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was one of the projects I did. I fell down another rabbit hole this past week, and it's so funny because now I'm getting into like the home lab stuff, the like servers, NAS,
dude, you have to talk to me about that because I still haven't really done enough research on it.
Dude, I have my old PC. I was on Intel. We had a bunch of issues with the rig, and I recently swapped over to AMD. And so because we swapped over to AMD, I need a new CPU. I need a new motherboard. I need a new RAM. So I basically just had a new PC built, and then I pulled the 4090 out and slapped it in there. So now I have an Intel CPU with no graphics card, but it's got 32 gigs of RAM and it's an Intel CPU. That's perfect for like a little home lab thing. I put Zima OS, like a NAS, like a home lab operating system on it. It's a Linux-based operating system. It's got like a great graphics user interface. And so now I'm down the rabbit hole of like looking at all sorts of different like Docker containers and things and services and finding things like we have tons of photos of the kids. And so I want to run like Image, which is an app where we can basically, it's like Google Photos or Apple iCloud Photos, but like here, and there's like app. And so like both of our phones are going to automatically upload, and we're going to have every single photo we've ever taken in our whole life locally stored, so that like, just like all that kind of stuff. All sorts of like media server stuff, like Jellyfin and Plex servers.
I didn't think about that, because I have, whenever I get a new PC, historically, what I've done is basically taken the graphics card out and then built another PC with like the old graphics card. So I've got like a bunch of like decent PCs, like my previous gaming PC, my previous editing PC, that are just sitting there without graphics cards.
You don't need it. All you need is the CPU, the RAM, and storage. And you don't even need a very high-end CPU or RAM, like 8 to 16 gigs of RAM. And
I mean, both of my computers, I think everything I've ever had has been 32 gigs of RAM until I got this PC and I got 64.
Yeah.
But that was before the prices went up.
Yeah. So it's like, so it's just like, it's like cool stuff. It's just a fun rabbit hole to go down. There's a ton of like cool stuff you can do. You can like locally host like basically a whole thing of like all of Wikipedia. So like if the internet cuts out, like you like have Wikipedia on your home server, and like
the zombie
photo stuff and media server stuff and all sorts of cool stuff, and it's fun. And anyways, the only thing I need at this point, because I've got everything, is hard drives. So I was like, well, how much could hard drives be? Well, the AI has come for it all at this point, because RAM is crazy high. Like obviously, RAM's been crazy high for a while. NVIDIA announced that they're not like making any more consumer GPUs. They're not like doing a refresh next year, because they're just going to keep selling this as all AI. Well, now hard drives are also going up in price. I was looking at like a Western Digital Red, which is their like NAS drives, and like a 4 terabyte one's like $300. And I was like, what the fuck? And you can find listings where it says it's like $100, because that's what like the MSRP is. And then when you click on it, it's out of stock. And then the only ones you can find are like, it's crazy, bro. Everything is getting so expensive right now.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Like, bro, have you seen I've seen some of like the pictures on Reddit where like 32 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of RAM at like Best Buy or Micro Centers, like $1,800 or like $1,200. Like it's just like it's going absolutely bonkers right now.
Should I fucking sell my 64
Dude,
gig?
you literally could sell that for more than the computer was worth when you bought the computer. It's insane, because it's like the COVID toilet paper thing, where it reaches a critical mass where everyone goes, panic, there's an issue. So then people start buying stuff they don't need, which raises prices farther. And then the outlets don't know what to do, so they hike up the prices. So it's like, it's not all entirely due to a shortage, but it's like the cycle. But yeah, right now RAM is like out of control, and it's coming for hard drives. It's coming for GPUs. It's like, it's freaking insane.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your RAM.
Damn dog.
But yeah, that's cool though. Hope the house stuff is going good. 100%. But yeah, that is that's the stuff. That's the stuff. Thank you guys for hanging with us. As always, if you want even more podcast content, you can go to patreon.com/thepogcastpod. Get early ad-free access to these episodes, especially since we did it on time this week, and an extra episode that we film every week just for the patrons. It's a banger. It's Podcast Gone Wild, and you should be there. So thank you guys. Thank you to Rage for sponsoring this episode. Thank you guys all for the support, and we will definitely see you on the next one.
Hide your RAM.